I swear this has got to be the longest I've been waiting.
This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay McLovin here on the afternoon show, and it's my honor to be able to privilege to podcast with OG Tony and Chris Gonzo Gonzalez. Man, it's been a hell of a day. I sent you guys a picture because I thought you would enjoy seeing a guy out there in short sleeve shirts, and you're out there in long sleeve shirts. And so I said, let me send these boys a pic of Houston weather because I'm trying to get you and Gonzo to eventually migrate down this direction because I know you got family down here, Tony. I know you got family in Texas. Yeah, so I'm trying to get you guys to migrate down here. But, hey, if you guys like our commentary, if you appreciate what we're saying to you, hit that subscribe button. That's the best way to get our content for Gonzo's Sports Room, Gonzo's Wrestling Room, and also ESEN, Elite Sports Entertainment Network. Those are our 3 YouTube spots, or 1 and 2 YouTube spots you can catch us on. Tony, without further ado, it's all you, baby.
Yeah, I got family in, I think the only family I got left in Texas is Dallas and Fort Worth. Used to have a lot in Waco, but I think Dallas and Fort Worth only now.
That's funny because Melanie's from Dallas, Fort Worth area. So y'all might know each other. You never know.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's jump into it. We start the day with a Super Bowl hot seat. Kind of do a little bit of just 5 questions. Thought we'd do that real quick. First question I have is your all-time Super Bowl matchup. If you could pick 2 teams from any era of NFL football, what 2 teams would you like to see play? For example, let's say when the Colts won the Super Bowl and they played the Bears when the Bears was really good. I think that was 85. That type of matchup. You can pick any teams from any era.
I already know who I got, Tony.
What do you think?
I already got who I got.
Okay, Jay, I'll let you go first.
Man, look, if you're not picking, if your adversary is not one of those New England teams, what are we talking about? We shouldn't be on the same conversation. Because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And everybody knows Tom Brady is the GOAT of the NFL. So you already know, Tony, the best Cowboys teams I've seen in my era was a 90s version of the Cowboys, that Jimmy Johnson era of the Cowboys. And I would love to see that version of the Cowboys with Maryland, Woodson, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, Emmitt Smith. I want to see that version of the Cowboys versus any version of the New England Patriots. Any version. You pick one. I don't care. Any one of them. I would love to see that because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that version of the Cowboys was the best version, I believe, that we've ever had. And I would like to see what we could do and the all-time leading rusher could do against that defense, that coach, and Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Okay, Chris, what about for you?
For me, it's easy. It'd be Indianapolis Colts with when they had the prime Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, Joseph Adai, Reggie Wayne against San Francisco 49ers with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and all them guys.
That's a good one.
Both of them are great teams, but for me, just selfishly, Manning and Montana are 2 of my favorite players ever. So to get to see them 2 go at it in a Super Bowl would be awesome. But if you look at them roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball with all the stars you had, that'd been a hell of a game to watch.
Can I ask Chris one question, Tony, before you give yours? Yeah. Is it okay if I ask him one question? Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously with the Arizona Cardinals, would you like to see – do you think that he's being done a disservice not having a quarterback like a Peyton Manning that could have that sort of connection with him? Because I feel like it's a disservice. I feel like he's just not able to get the right quarterback to have that sort of connection like Peyton had with Marvin. Do you feel like that, or am I just off base?
Some of his problem, I think, has been injuries. He's been injured a couple times both years. But the other problem is, I just don't think him and Kyler Murray have much chemistry. Because if you watch when Brissett was the quarterback, Harrison Dunn was putting up a lot better numbers. Looked like him and Brissett were more on the same page. I just don't, for some reason, him and Murray never looked like they were on the same page. But like I said, with Brissett, it looked like they had got on the same page. So I don't know if it's been. I just think for some reason him and Murray haven't connected.
One follow-up comment, Tony, just super quick, based on what he said. I would love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. get traded to New England Patriots, because I feel like that could be their wide receiver one. And Drake May is a hell of a thrower. And I would love to see that Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. connection, because I feel like that would be the closest thing to Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning. I would love to see that trade come down. And I hate the Patriots, but I would love to see that sort of connection. I feel like that would be like the second coming of what you guys had out there in Indy.
He leaves Arizona, he's coming to Indy.
Yeah, I want him in Indy, but I'll tell you a better matchup for him than going to New England. I think just for matchup wise, I think he'd be better off to go to Buffalo.
Well, with Josh Allen, that's a good one.
They need a number one. Think about that combination.
That's a good Tony. I give it to you. No, Tony, I'm gonna see that one to you. You're right. That is a good one. I apologize. That's a good one. I
hate to say it, but a perfect fit for him as well would be Kansas City Chiefs.
With Patrick Mahomes, and
that they need a receiver, and they might be losing their go-to guy in Kelsey. If you put a guy like him, I think he would fit good. Could fit good there.
You know who I think who's going to end up in Kansas City? I think Tyreek Hill's going to end up back in Kansas City.
I think there's a chance he's probably going to end up back there. But I think Harrison Jr. If he was going to leave Arizona, I think that would be a real good fit for him.
Tony, do you really think that Tyreek Hill though is going to be the same guy? And Gonzo, this is for you too. Do you guys think that Tyreek Hill is going to come back anywhere near what he was before? Because he took a really nasty injury.
I think he'd be good enough, though.
I like that, Chris. That's awesome. What do you think?
I think he'd be good enough.
You think so? Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be what he was, but I think he'd be good enough.
I think he'd still be good enough that he could really help the Chiefs. Is he going to be as fast as he was? Maybe not, but he was already so much faster than everybody. Now, losing a little bit, he's still going to be pretty damn fast. He was running like a 4.3. So I mean, hell, if he's still under a 4.5, he's still going to be dangerous. And if he goes back to the Chiefs, they'll give him that deep element again that they ain't had. I mean, I don't know if he'll be as good as he was when he was with the Chiefs before, but I still think he could be effective and help the Chiefs.
Absolutely. Joe, man, appreciate the love, man. You always show up, man. Appreciate you. Tony, what you got, baby?
I got one follow-up, Chris and Jay both. Do you think part of the problem with Harrison and their quarterback is the fact that Kyler Murray, at least to me, if I'm wrong, tell me. To me, he's not a pure pocket passer.
Nope.
Kyler Murray's not. And I think that's what Harrison needs. I think he needs somebody that's a pure pocket passer. What do you think about that, guys? What do you think, Chris?
I think that could be something to do with it. It just Murray's been so inconsistent, and I think a lot of that with Murray, I know people don't like to hear it, is because of his size. Like he really can't stay in the pocket because he can't see, so he has to move around, and I think that's kind of hurt him. And injuries have hurt him too. I mean, there's times where he get off to a good start of the year and then have injuries. This year, even before the injuries, he just wasn't looking good, and that's why they ended up going with Brissett even when he got healthy. I think some of it could be that. I think some of it was just the offensive coordinator there in Arizona as well. I don't think he really set some of them guys up for success a lot of times. And you saw it go a little bit better with Brissett, but then you saw that kind of start to fizz out as well. So and injuries.
Okay.
Arizona lost a lot. Like people forget they were in every game, and then they just kept losing guys, losing guys, and then the wheels fell off. But I mean, their first like 8 losses came down to the very last play of the game. It wasn't like they were just getting boat raced.
They blew a lot of games, fourth quarter. Jay, what do you think? Do you think that pocket pass thing's a big deal?
Here's what I think about Kyler Murray. This and I'm going to relate this a lot to you guys. I see a lot of similarities. I'm not saying they're the exact person, right? But I see a lot of similarities between Kyler Murray and Anthony Richardson. Now, Kyler Murray is a little bit better passer. He's a little bit had more success than Anthony Richardson. But at the end of the day, they are both exceptional athletes, but both of them struggle with the commitment to their team. For example, Anthony Richardson tapped out, and you know he tapped out. And so that's an issue for me. That means you gave up on your team. That means you're not committed to what your profession is. You're not committed to your career, and you're not committed to your position. You look at Kyler Murray, they had to put into his contract that he had to put more effort into learning the plays than he did the video games. So what I think the similarity between the two of them is that they're both gifted athletes, and they both have lack of commitment to what they're doing at their job. Those are the two biggest things I think that hamper them. And I think that's kind of where you are with Kyler Murray. I honestly think that Brissett is the better person to lead that team than Kyler Murray. And I know Kyler Murray is a great athlete, but I think for overall chemistry and overall production on the offense, Brissett has the better chance. And that's sad because I don't think Brissett is really the guy, but he's better than what they have. And that's sad to say that.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree. Guys, you're way too early Super Bowl picks for next year.
You wouldn't hit me with that when you suck.
I'll go first to give you guys time to think about it. A team that I think would have been there this year, except the quarterback got hurt, and I think they'll improve the running game. I think they'll improve their offensive line a little bit, and that's the Denver Broncos. I think the Denver. I mean, of course, I'm a homer. I'm gonna say the Colts is my dark horse, but I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna think Denver, and then the other side. I'm tired of keep picking them, but Stafford's coming back another year. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams in Denver. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Damn it, till they get there.
So, hey, don't worry. So's Gonzo. It must run in the family tree.
Yeah, evidently.
What you got?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really. Let me think about it for a minute. AFC. I'm probably going to go with. Probably going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh.
I was impressed with how they turned that around this year, and if Lawrence plays like he did last year, or a little bit better, they're going to just keep doing what they're doing. I think they're good on the defensive side. So I'm probably going to go with Jaguars, and then NFC. I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's going to be the year that they stay healthy.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, Jay.
That's almost like picking, like if you're betting on the underdog, Chris. But I understand where you're coming from if they're healthy. But man, that's still a tough ask. And I say it's a tough ask because of the division that they play in. The division they play in is so strong. I mean, excuse me, all the way down to the Arizona Cardinals. Now the Arizona Cardinals, they're in kind of whatever. But with the top 3 teams, Seattle, Rams, and 49ers. That's a strong division, brother. That's strong.
I get what you're saying, Jay, but this year with everything that went wrong and all the injuries, they were 1 game away from winning that division.
And you're not lying. You're not lying. And also, I believe that Christian McCaffrey injury with his shoulder really set them back in that game too. I mean, that was really limited. On my end, Tony, I believe that the Denver Broncos, I'm gonna ride with what you're saying because I believe in that defense. Even though they fired their offensive coordinator, which they needed to do, I believe. Their defensive coordinator is still amazing. They still have a number one defense. And when you got the number one defense, you got Sean Payton as your head coach. All you got to do is find the right combination for that offensive coordinator. And I don't know, maybe they've already picked up one. Maybe I'm not tracking that. But at the end of the day, I still believe the Denver Broncos are still the better team right now. It doesn't mean that New England is not making progress and doing things. But I think if you would have Bo Nix in that, I think maybe we're looking at Denver and not New England in that. And that's just my personal opinion. But who I think is going to be there, I still think it's going to be Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, because that's a hell of a defense and it's still a hell of an offense, and they haven't lost anybody. Now, they may lose Kubiak. I think Kubiak may lose. So it's going to be depending on who they get as their offensive coordinator once he leaves. But my pick is going to be Seattle versus Denver. I still think that's the number one matchup right there, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's possible. It's possible. Okay, guys. If you could pick right now, okay, we're gonna play pretend. We're gonna do fantasy land here. Bad Bunny has to cancel. He can't perform Sunday. You get to pick the halftime show.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
So who would you want? I'll go first. And I'm in fantasy land. So I'm gonna go with two answers. My one answer is it's a performance I seen at the Hall of Fame. And three of these people are passed away, so it can't happen. But then my second answer goes along those lines. It was Tom Petty, George Harrison, Prince, and a bunch of other guys. And they all performed together 2 or 3 songs, and it was just outstanding. So I'm going along those lines. I want like an all-star band. And what I'm thinking is 3 of my favorite guys. And I'd like to see John Mellencamp, Bruce Springsteen, and Bryan Adams perform at the halftime show, maybe two songs apiece, perform together. That's what if I got to book it, that's what I would book. Jay, what about you?
Oh, I already know who I want, Tony. Now, the easy answer, right? The easy answer between the 3 of us, because we all like metal bands and rock bands and things like that. The easy answer would be AC/DC, Rolling Stones, and Metallica. Those would be your easy answers. But what I would like to see, I want to see creativity in the rock scene. I don't want the generic stuff. Don't give me the generic. Give me the fantasy. And the fantasy I have would be Foo Fighters and Prince. And the reason why I say Prince, Tony, is because Dave Grohl did a cover of Darling Nikki. And Prince said that was the best version of Darling Nikki that he had ever heard. So what I would like to see, Tony, is I would like to see Foo Fighters and Prince do a together duo, and I would like to see a mashup. I would like to see a mashup of Foo Fighters and Prince, and let's see what that product and what that child comes out of that union. But I want to see a mashup of those 2 bands. I think that would be fucking phenomenal.
And yeah. What about you, Chris?
Well, I would say I'd say AC/DC just because they've never done it, and I think they'd be an awesome halftime show. But just me selfishly, I would go with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
But like Snoop Dogg, not all the other guys, but Snoop Dogg. I think he'd put on a hell of a show, and even if he brought in some people like he did for the Christmas thing, I'd be okay with that. I just wouldn't want like Dre, 50 Cent, it'd be an all-star thing. I want to be more like Snoop Dogg, and if he brings in some other artists that aren't rap artists and stuff, like he did with the Christmas thing, I think he would kill it. But that's also coming from a guy that's a big Snoop fan, and I just seen him live last year, and it was an awesome show. There was 40,000 people there at the show when I watched him there at Great American Ballpark. Because it was a sellout, and I think that place holds what 45?
About 45,000, I think, at least.
Can I give an add-on to Chris?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I do that? Because I like where Chris is going with that. And again, man, I like Snoop. I do. I have Snoop in my collection. I got Dr. Dre in my collection. And I would like to see Snoop and Dr. Dre come out in a convertible Chevelle, an old school 60s model Chevelle, right? Hey, watch this. Hey, now picture it, Tony. Picture it. You got Dr. Dre driving, and you got Snoop Dogg in the passenger seat, and Snoop Dogg is smoking a blunt coming in. And as he gets out of the truck smoking a blunt, the opening song, the opening is Chronic. Let's go, baby. If we're gonna do it, let's do it big. And I think those two could be because they did so much work together. Dr. Dre and Snoop did so much work together that would be a perfect combination to do a show. And there's nothing better than Snoop. And you know what? Just a caveat. Let's put Martha Stewart's ass in the back seat. Fuck yeah, let's go, baby.
I'd like Joe's answer. Topless dancers.
But listen, if we're gonna do topless dancers, you gotta do Motley Crue because you always have Motley Crue always had those beautiful freaking women that would be in their songs. So you gotta do Motley Crue with topless dancers. And okay, yeah, I can buy into that.
He said topless go-go dancers, and the first thing that came to my mind because the go-go dancers was big in English culture. I don't know why it came to mind. Austin Powers. I think they should have Austin Powers do the halftime show and have topless dancers.
Oh, hold on. No, let's go one higher. Austin Powers driving and fat bastard in the back seat with a topless dancer. Let's go. If we're gonna do it, Tony, let's do it right.
We're off the rails now. Okay, guys.
Chris, I saw you laughing over there because you know I'm true on that.
A player that in the NFL that will be maybe on a different team next year. Player that's somewhere now, but he's not going to be there. But it may be somewhere next. You might see him somewhere else next year. I do know some free agents. I'm not saying that they're going anywhere. I do know because I was looking at the free agent market yesterday. The running back for Jacksonville is a free agent. The starting running back, the one that's healthy for Seattle's a free agent. Yes, he's a free agent.
So Etienne and Walker the third are free agents.
Yes, both are free agents. I'm not saying they won't get signed with their teams. They're free. Of course, Dottle from Carolina is a free agent. Williams from Dallas is a free agent. So is the receiver Pickett's a free agent. I worry that Dallas is not going to be able to sign both of those guys. I'm just wondering. Williams had a hell of a year. He didn't get paid a lot last year. I'm worried that he's going to want a substantial contract, and Dallas might not meet it. So I'm going to predict Williams is going to end up. I hope he stays with Dallas, but I'm going to predict that he ends up somewhere next year. And I think maybe a good fit for him would be the Houston Texans.
That's not bad because they need defensive run stoppers. So I get that. And Rodgers to Minnesota. Okay, Joe. Hey, that's not a bad one, Joe, honestly, because I think if Aaron Rodgers was Minnesota, you could be looking at a Super Bowl caliber team because I really think that they're just a quarterback away from meeting that goal, honestly.
And that defense was tough. I didn't realize how tough it was.
I see that, but I think if Aaron Rodgers plays again, he's going to play in Pittsburgh.
I think he's going to play with McCarthy.
You think he's going to line up back with Mike McCarthy and try to give it one more run?
If he plays another year, that's what I think he'll do. Is he'll play in Pittsburgh with McCarthy. But I mean, I don't know if he's going to play another year or not. But that's just my feelings if he does. But no, the Minnesota thing would be a good move because. But I think Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray probably on a different team. I'm not sure what team, but I think Arizona's going to move on. And I think somebody's going to pick Kyler Murray up. I was trying to think of maybe another player. I mean, obvious one that kind of looks obvious right now is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
because it looks like Atlanta's going to cut him. So, he's going to get picked up by somebody as long as he wants to play, and all indicators is he wants to.
Chris, would you be opposed if the Colts are not sure? Because I think he'll be out there for a while. He's not going to sign somebody right away.
I think you can see the Colts moving off of Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think? Would you be opposed to the Colts? Because I mean, I don't know what the money's going to be, so I don't know. But would you be opposed to the Colts to maybe bring him in and have him and Jones both with the uncertainty with Jones?
It depends on what you'd have to pay him.
Okay.
Because you're getting ready to sign Jones, which you shouldn't. don't think they ain't gonna pay like break the bank paying him. But it's also a lot would depend on how much money Cousins wants. And that dude's done good on all his contract negotiations. I'll say that. Like,
yes,
he was the first quarterback to be getting the whole contract guaranteed and shit. Like he's made a lot of him and his agent have done real good when it comes to contracts.
What about you, Jay?
I just want to say one thing. I think in Indy, if you bring in Kirk Cousins, that offensive line is going to have to protect him like they did for Rivers, because Cousins ain't going to move around and he's injury plagued. Yeah. So that offensive line, if you bring him in, they're going to have to block their asses off all year, because you're going to have to give him time and protect him if they bring that in. And it's not a bad move. I think you should just go with Andrew. I think Daniel Jones would be the better one because he's younger. But anyway, no, what I would like to see Dallas do, honestly, is I would like them to see if they could bring in one or two players, either Max Crosby or TJ Watt, because I think both of them have the ability to move on. I think Max Crosby has the ability to move on because I think fully that the Raiders are in full rebuild mode. I think they're kind of heading that direction. And I think Max Crosby's not ready for a rebuild. I think he wants to compete, and I think he wants to be something significant. So I think Max Crosby would be a good one to come over. And Dallas needs a pass rush. More than anybody else, we need a pass rush. So that would be my first choice. And obviously, TJ Watt, if Pittsburgh does wind up depleting and start a rebuild under Mike McCarthy, I think Mike McCarthy is a gap fill coach. And I think that might be the gap fill they need to rebuild their lineup. Yeah, I know you're looking at me crazy, Gon. So it's okay. You can look at me crazy.
Pittsburgh Steelers don't hire gap fill coaches.
I know they don't feel like, well, but you know what? They also don't hire coaches that are old as he is. They normally get coaches much, much younger to build around.
He's 60 years old. He's still a hell of a coach. He won a Super Bowl.
Not a hell of a coach. No, he's not. He's not a hell of a coach. I know you think that, Gonzo. And you're entitled to your opinion all you want. But look, as a Cowboys person, and I saw what he did for us, he was a gap fill. He wasn't the greatest, but he wasn't the worst. No, I know you look at me. You're looking at me sideways. You're looking at me sideways. Tell me why you think he's not a gap fill. Tell me why.
Here's why he wasn't a gap fill in Dallas. How many games a year did you guys win in Dallas? Each season.
Well, the first season, or you talking about the first or second season? Because the first season he sucked ass. So we're talking about the second, third season.
He went there 2 years.
He might have been there 3 years, I believe.
I think he had two.
I want to say it was three.
But he had 12 or 13 win seasons.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out.
Well, one of those seasons was Cooper Rush as his quarterback.
I get it. Let me help you out.
I
get you.
Won a Super Bowl.
I get you.
Gap fill coach. You're crazy.
I get you.
You know what? You need to go hang out with the Hall of Fame voters that didn't vote Bill Belichick to get in the Hall of Fame.
You know what, Gonzo? I will go hang out with them. You know why I'm gonna hang out with them? Because they were smoking some weed when they bypassed Bill Belichick. So if I go hang out with them, I'm probably gonna get high as fuck. So you know what? I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna go hang out with them voters, and I'm gonna get high as fuck, and I'm gonna make bad decisions. Okay, bet done. Can we move on? Okay.
And here's why. But here's why he's not. Here's why
he wasn't ready for that, Tony. Tony, he wasn't ready for that response. Was he? He walked right into that one. I'm answering your question. You asked why I don't think he's a gap fill quarterback for Pittsburgh, and here's why. Okay. Pittsburgh hired a guy like McCarthy because they don't want to do a full. They don't feel like they need to do a full rebuild. They bring in a young coach. Then yeah, you're thinking full rebuild. They're bringing in a guy that they think can bring in some guys. Improve the roster and they're going to make the playoffs. They're not looking for a full rebuild. That's why they brought a guy in like McCarthy. I'm not saying, can I tell you why they're in a rebuild mode? Can I tell you why? Because the number one receiver that they brought in was DK Metcalf, and as a fantasy owner of DK Metcalf, he sucked for a lot of. No, he did. Gonzo, don't tell me he didn't, because I'll show you. I will visibly show you. I know that's okay. You can block me out, but you can't block out the truth. You can't handle the truth. And the truth is, the truth is, he was not a number one. Tony, I had him on my team. I saw what he gave me, and it wasn't a whole hell of a lot. There were times when he didn't get anything done, and there was times when he did get things done. My point about DK Metcalf is, he's not a consistent guy. He doesn't give you across the board consistency. He has up times and he has down times. He has up times. And I look, I rode that fantasy train with DK. I rode it with him. Gonzo, I picked him because I thought he was going to be great. I thought he was going to do great things with Aaron Rodgers, and he let me down.
Hey, I had
Metcalf on my team too.
Here's how garbage he was this year: 60 catches, 900 yards, average of 14.4 yards a reception, and 7 touchdowns.
So he's less than 1,000 yards. How many did he? All right, let me ask you this. No. You came at me as stats. I'm going to ask you a question. No, don't disappear on me. God, you're like my ex-wife. Damn.
I'm still here. I just don't want to look at your ugly ass.
Again, you're like my ex-wife because she didn't want to look at my ugly ass either. That's why I'm divorced. Okay, and remarried. No. He's right. He don't want my ugly. Look, that's why she left, and that's why my future wife or my now wife is amazing. So it's okay. He didn't want to look at my ugly ass either.
Hey, is your wife now blind?
Well, she's old enough to be blind, but that's not the point.
You said that. You said that, not me.
Hey, listen.
You said that.
Let me ask you this. You ever married above your pay grade? I married above my pay grade. On the second go around, I married above my pay grade. My wife is a saint, like a damn saint. Gonzo, when you meet me, and you're going to meet Melanie, because at some point you and Tony. No. Let's not do that right now. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have that on mute. No, look, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. McCarthy, when he came to Dallas, the first year sucked. I mean, we were under 500. I'm telling you right now, year one, under 500. Year 2s and 3s, yeah, you're right, Gonzo. We were at 12-3. But what did we do in the playoff, Gonzo? We didn't do shit. We didn't get past the first round ever. Gonzo, ever. The highest we've ever made is a divisional round. So don't tell me he's not a gap-filled quarterback. And don't tell me he didn't have Dak Prescott for at least one out of those 2 years. Now, point is, look, I think McCarthy is a good coach.
Was Jason Garrett a gap-filled coach?
Yes, 100%.
And he was there 10 years. That's not a gap-filled coach.
No, no. That's not true. That's not true.
By what you're saying is anybody that don't win a Super Bowl is a gap-filled coach.
No, that's not true. I didn't say that. I didn't say no. Don't go. Don't disappear. Stay with me.
I'm not disappearing. I'm fucking right here.
Okay, but look at me.
Going on too. If I got to turn my camera off for a minute or look at my phone, I fucking will. I'm listening to
my bad. All right. Well, I thought I was ugly.
Ain't nobody disappearing.
You said I was ugly.
Ain't nobody fucking scared of Jay McClellan.
I didn't say we're scared. I said I was ugly.
I'm
ugly. No. Okay, well, turn off your damn camera. I'm ugly, damn it.
Oh, shit.
Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, Gonzo. Don't you get mad at me.
I'm just quit telling me I'm disappearing. Ain't nobody fucking disappearing.
I like to look at you because you're beautiful.
I didn't even turn my camera off. I was looking at my phone for a second.
But you're beautiful. Okay, well, you're cheating on me. Oh, you're cheating on me. That's much better. Oh, I like that. That's sexy. There you go.
Damn, is that what I gotta do?
Damn it. Stay right there. You're sexy. You're a beautiful human being. And I want to look at your beautiful ass, okay? Maybe don't be selfish, you bastard. Maybe I want to look at you. Maybe I want to see your beautiful fucking face, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. Back on track. Tony, I apologize. Back on track. Asshole. You're such an I swear to God, you're an asshole, but I love you. I love you. Listen. He had multiple opportunities in Dallas with a really good, talented team, and he never could get past the first round. He has not done anything that Super Bowl that he had with Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers went to Pittsburgh. Why? Because he wanted to play with Mike Tomlin. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, honestly, I don't think he wants to play with McCarthy. I really don't. I don't think he wants to play there. I think he winds up retiring or going to maybe to Minnesota or somebody else. I'm just saying, when you look at the Pittsburgh franchise as a whole, right? As a whole, they have a decent running back in Warren, right? They have a good tight end in Fremuth, and they have a decent not decent. They have a good, not elite, but they have good running wide receiver in Metcalf, and they have a great elite. No, not great. They have elite linebacker in T.J. Watt. That's not enough to get you where you got to go in the promised land. And these guys are older. No, hold on. Let me finish. TJ Watt is a little older in the tooth. DK is a little older in the tooth. These guys don't want to be with a gap fill quarterback, but that's what they got. I'm sorry, Gonzo. I know you think this guy's a great quarterback, and you're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to my opinion. And my opinion is the guy's a gap fill quarterback. I feel like Pittsburgh is on their way.
What quarterback are we talking about here?
Well,
He
that's the
meant
point.
coach.
No,
He meant coach.
that's a good point. Tony, that's a good point. Exactly. Gonzo, you made my point. No, you made my point. What quarterback are we talking about? Are we going to get Mason Rudolph? Or are we going to get Aaron Rodgers? Or will we get somebody else? Because they're too low in the rankings to get a quarterback of decent caliber. Let's be honest. So the quarterback position, which is the most important position, is a field of inquiry. That means we don't fucking know. And when you don't know about something and you got a gap field quarterback, that means disaster. I'm sorry, it's disaster. Any way you fucking slice it, it's disaster. And Tony, I've told you this a million times. And Gonzo, I've told you this a million times. That's okay. Let me see the Gonzo Sports. What I'm trying to say is, at some point, they need to suck. And they need to go all the way to the bottom so they can get that number one pick and get the quarterback of the future. Anybody that knows anything knows that they need a quarterback of the future, and they're not going to get it where they currently are as a mid-level team. They're going to probably get the pick number 12 to pick number 32. That's what they're going to get. And you're not going to get a great elite quarterback. Man, I'm not saying you can't, because Tom Brady went at 6'99", and Brock Purdy was the last man out. So I'm not saying it can't happen. But to strike lightning in a bottle like that is so far and in between. That's my point, Tony. I'm just saying TJ Watt, if he came to Dallas Cowboys, would be amazing, because either one of Max Crosby or TJ Watt.
Another question out of this whole thing is,
yes, sir.
When did TJ Watt become a linebacker?
I thought he played linebacker. If he played defensive end, all right, I'll give you defensive end. I in my brain, I swear to God, I thought he was a linebacker. I apologize. If he's defensive end, he's defensive end.
Real quick, Jay, about Metcalf. I don't think he had a bad year. Is he a true number one on that team? He was. And the reason I say this is, Jay, they didn't have any other receivers on that damn team.
Oh, I agree 100%. But I've also seen, but Tony, how are you going to tell me when he missed all those catches? I saw him miss so many catches, Tony.
No, he misses catches.
I've watched CD Lamb cost you guys games by not catching the ball.
True.
100%. 100%.
Are you saying he's just a gap fill receiver? He's not a number one receiver?
No, I didn't say
No, I'm asking
CD. I didn't say he wasn't a gap fill. What I said with verbatim is I think he's a good wide receiver. I do not think he is an elite wide receiver. I don't.
I think you think CD Lamb's an elite wide receiver?
I think he is in between. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I think seriously. Look, if you're talking about 1 to 10, 10 being elite, 1 being sucking ass, I think CD Lamb is about 7.5. 7.5 I would give CD. That's what
I think Metcalf, if he has a number 2, a true number 2, that he could be a number one. I'm not saying he's elite, but I think he could be a number one receiver. This year, he was their number one receiver, but hell, they didn't have anything else at all. They didn't have nothing. So another thing on, and I know your opinion of McCartney. I know Chris's, I know mine, but I listened to McAfee yesterday, and of course they talked to Hawk, and who played for McCartney. I think won a championship with him, and he says McCarthy knows how to coach. He knows what to do. He thought it was a great hire for Pittsburgh, and that first thing he will do when he gets there is make sure the offensive line and the defensive line is as strong as it can be. He's going to build up those lines. He said that will be the first order of business with McCarthy, and I agree with that. I think he will. So now again, the quarterback situation. Even if Rodgers comes back for a year, that's for a year. So I mean, yeah, I agree with there's a problem there with any coach that comes in. It ain't gonna be different if it's McCarthy or if it's a young guy. There's an issue there for sure at the quarterback. Let's move on, guys. My last question was, who do you think the best coaching hire in the NFL so far? Which team do you think got the best coach? Is it Harbaugh? Is it Stefanski? Is it somebody else? I'm going with Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's I don't know. It's close for me. I think Stefanski's a real good hire in Atlanta. I don't know. I think it could be a mistake in not keeping Cousins and putting all your eggs in the Phoenix basket. I think that could be a mistake. Now I could be wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I'm going to go with if the Giants can stay healthy. That was a big issue with them this year. All the rookies and all the good players got hurt, so that didn't help things. But I think the Giants can stay healthy. I don't think they're going to be a New England story. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl next year. But I think we'll see good improvement. I think year 2 would be the year where we really see strides with the Giants. Now, I could be totally wrong. I mean, I haven't seen the schedule. They could play Cupcake City too, and who knows? But right now, I don't think they're going to be in that same level as what New England did this year. What do you think, Jay? What was the best hire?
Yeah, this is a close one. I agree. For me, I think the best hire is between Stefanski and Harbaugh. I think Stefanski is finally going to get to an organization in Atlanta that's not going to screw him over like Cleveland did. Like, they're going to be a professional organization, and they're going to ask his input, and they're going to allow him to do what he wants to do rather than what that ownership and what that GM wants to do. So I think he's going to have more buy-in and what happens with Atlanta than what he had in Cleveland. And I think Stefanski is a great coach, and I think he's a really good coach for the quarterbacks. Now, they have decisions. Are they going to keep Kirk Cousins? They're going to get rid of Kirk Cousins. Is he going to be able to develop Penix? Is Penix going to be able to start? So he has some things there to work out. I think Harbaugh, for the Giants, who have never had a true leader, a leader of a leader, they're going to get a leader now. They're going to get a leader in Harbaugh, right? And I think they've been missing that quality in leadership. And so, again, they have to figure out Scadaboo. Is Scadaboo going to, is he going to come back 100%? And what are they going to do with him? But I think they got Tracy waiting in the wings. And I think Tracy is a good running back. He just needs a line to give him a hole to operate out of. So I'm going to go with Harbaugh on this one. Nothing against Stefanski. I think Stefanski is going to have a good career in Atlanta with the assets that he has available. Bijan Robinson, Pitts. I mean, the whole thing, right? Drake London. You name it. He's got a lot of assets over there to do it. So I think Stefanski is going to do great. I think Harbaugh is going to basically build this team up. He has a good running back in Scadaboo. He's got another good running back in Tracy. He has a good quarterback in Jackson Dart, and he has a good wide receiver in Malik Neighbors when he comes back. And I think he's got a great defense in Thibodeau and Carter. But my thing is, can he convince Scadaboo and can he convince Dart to be more mindful of a good play? It gets you yardage versus a bad play that gets you good yardage, but also puts you on injured reserve. And if he can get those guys to understand and harness, you got to harness in a controlled way their passion, because both of those guys, Dart and Scadaboo, which, by the way, if you don't know that by now, the reason why they're so dynamic and why they're Batman and Robin is because they both have one thing in common, which is a true passion for the game. But here's the deal. Sometimes that passion can get you on injured reserve. So you got to harness that passion in a controlled way to where they get what they need to get, but they don't put themselves on injured reserve. And if Harbaugh and his disciplined training can get them to understand that, this Giants team can rise through the ranks and become number one in the division, because Cowboys, we suck. And we're always going to suck under Jerry Jones. I'm sorry. Cowboy fans, I'm a Cowboy fan, tried and true. I wear blue like anybody else wears blue. But I also understand our ownership group, and I also understand that Philadelphia has issues on their offense and that Washington has issues with age. And I think this is a time where the Giants can take that leap forward under Harbaugh. And I really think that's a team that can go from last place to first place at a much quicker rate than Atlanta can go.
I disagree with you on that. Here's what I think. I think Atlanta will win quicker than what the Giants will. And the reason I say that is because they're in a lot easier division.
Yeah,
Atlanta's
I agree with that.
Division.
I agree.
But I think overall, I think the Giants will have a bigger upside. It may take him another year or two.
And I think that's what I meant. I appreciate you saying that. No, Tony, I appreciate you saying that, because I think that's what I really was trying to convey, was the upside of the Giants versus Atlanta. So I appreciate you saying that, because that's exactly what I was trying to convey. I think I said it wrong, but that's what I was trying to convey.
I think starting off, we may see Atlanta do a little bit better at first, maybe the first year or so. But after 3 or 4 years, I think you're going to see the Giants. And also Atlanta, their tight end, Pitts, is a free agent also.
By the way, Joe says John Harbaugh as well. So right now, 3 of us are in agreement. Let's see what Chris has to say. Chris?
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I like the Harbaugh hire a lot. I'm gonna go a little different direction since everybody has already said Harbaugh. I'm gonna go with Jesse Minter going to the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's a real good hire, and for a couple reasons. One, everywhere he's been a defensive coordinator at, he's had one of the best defenses in the league. He was at the University of Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. They had the best defense at college. Their defense was one of the main reasons they won that national championship. On offense, it was all about running the ball. They had McCarthy at quarterback, but he didn't throw the ball much. They ran the ball and they played defense. Before that, he was with the Baltimore Ravens when the Baltimore Ravens had a real good defense. He wasn't the defensive coordinator at the time, but he was one of the defensive assistants. Left Michigan, goes to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, and has had the 2 years he was there, had two of the top defenses in the NFL. And I think the reason I think it's a real good hire is now he's going back to Baltimore. If you're Baltimore and you're moving on from a guy that's been there 19 years, you're bringing in a guy that's familiar with the building. He's had a relationship with Lamar Jackson, but he's a guy that can fix that defense, get the right offensive coordinator in there. I think Jesse Minter is going to be a real good fit there in Baltimore. I think he could end up being one of the top. Here in a couple of years, we could look back and being like, oh, he was one of the top hires a couple of years ago.
Well, like we've talked about, having that new blood sometimes. I don't think Baltimore necessarily takes a step back. I think they could take a step forward because just some new blood. It's time, for new blood. I'm not saying I think it was the right decision to get with Harbaugh. That could be argued.
Yeah, I'm not saying I think it was the right decision, but I think they got the best guy they could have got.
I honestly, how's it going, House? I think it was a good decision for both parties. I really do. I think it was the best thing for Harbaugh, whether he felt like it at the time. I think Harbaugh going to the Giants is going to be great for him. And I think Minter going to Baltimore is going to be good for them. So I think it's going to work out for both of them.
I got one question.
The best hire of all was Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns. How can you argue that? That's the best hire of all.
Yeah. hey, that was a Christmas gift from hell if I ever saw one. But I do have a question real quick on what Gonzo. Gonzo, by the way, I think that was a good pick. Honestly, Baltimore, I think you did good. I think they have a tremendous upside in Baltimore because the one weakness of Baltimore Ravens was that defense. So the fact that he's a defensive-minded coach and he did really, really well, and the fact, like you said, the fact that he had prior ties under Harbaugh with Baltimore, and the fact that 5 of the remaining players are still there, that when he had a tenure there, was amazing. I think that was a great by them. I really do. My question for you is, and I don't know this, and Tony, please enlighten me if I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. And if they don't have an offensive coordinator, then my thing is, under a mentor, the key to his success is going to be having the right offensive coordinator to guide that offense to basically counteract his defensive regimen. And if you can get those two guys to come simpatico, that could be the best team ever. And I think that's going to be the big thing. And I don't know if they have an offensive coordinator. Tony, maybe you can help me out.
I don't think they've hired one yet. Because their offensive coordinator last year was Monken.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Kubiak not the offensive coordinator? I think he was, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was the offensive coordinator for Seattle. He may be defense. I cannot remember.
Kubiak is the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks.
But he's probably going to get a head coaching job. But if he doesn't get a head coaching job,
he already has a head coaching job. They just can't announce it yet. He's going to the Raiders.
You think he's going to the Raiders? That would be a good pickup.
Another good reason I think Minter's a good pick, Chris, and to see if you guys agree, is because I think they got to build that. When they was really good, that defense was really good, even though they had Lamar Jackson. And I think, honestly, guys, I don't think Lamar Jackson is what he was. I'm not saying he's still. I'm not going to say he still can't be a good quarterback, right. But I think his best years are behind him.
Let me ask you this, Tony. Let me ask you this,
unless he was injured and more than what we thought.
I don't think he was 100% healthy hardly at all this year.
Okay. Let me ask you guys this question: the Philadelphia Eagles just promoted the quarterback coach from Green Bay to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he basically left the NFL as a quarterback himself 2 years ago, and he was only the quarterback coach for 1 year, and then he got promoted to offensive coordinator. Do you think the fact that Phillip Rivers was in the conversation of looking for a head coaching job, do you think Phillip Rivers would be a good candidate? Because I think he would be a good candidate for Lamar Jackson because he knows how to pass the ball. Nobody can pass the ball better than Phillip Rivers. And the one downside, and it's not so much of a downside, but it's a little bit weaker than his run game, is the passing side of Lamar Jackson. So do you think of Phillip Rivers coming in and being an offensive coordinator there could be a possibility and help Lamar Jackson and the offense?
I don't think that's a good fit.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just curious.
Just me personally. I think there's quarterbacks out there. There's quarterbacks out there he could help. I don't know. How do I say this? Because I don't know Lamar. I mean, I don't know him, but it's going to sound like I think I know him. I don't know if Lamar. He's not a pure pass pocket quarterback. So I'm not sure that Rivers could help him, and I don't know if he would listen. Yeah. That's my question. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Gonzo, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I don't think Rivers is going to go anywhere this year. I think he threw his name in there, but he ended up withdrawing about his son's a senior on the high school team that he coaches. So I think there's a big part of him that wants to finish that out before he really would get maybe seriously get back into trying to coach an NFL. But no, offensive coordinator position, if you can get a guy like him as an offensive coordinator, I mean, I'm jump on it too. But I think this year he's going to stay in high school in Alabama and finish out his son's senior year.
My thing is, I agree. I do think he probably, if his son's a senior, like you're saying, and I know you're correct. I can see him wanting to be a part of his son's life and in his senior year. I think that's probably where he winds up going. I think if he did take the offensive coordinator spot in Baltimore, though, and if he excelled at it, if he did really, really good at it, that could be his door to becoming a head coach in the NFL. That's why I was kind of wondering if he might be enticed to take that offensive coordinator spot where he didn't have all the responsibility, but he had enough responsibility and he could eventually go to the head coaching spot at some point. By the way, Tony, I just want to say these 5 questions have been spicy, like extra spicy.
Honestly, I don't know how much. I honestly wonder how much he really wants. How interested he really was in being a head coach too, because and like I said, I don't know him personally, but just saying, like, the dude has 10 kids, and like being an NFL head coach, that takes up a lot of your damn time. Like I
want to get out of the house.
That's
watch this,
true.
Chris, but that being a head coach, hey, Chris, being that head coach or the offensive coordinator is going to pay better than being where he's at. And if you got 10 kids, that gives you more money to separate out when you decide to divvy up that money when you leave the earth.
That dude's made enough money. That dude's made enough money. He ain't worried about money.
Hey, Chris,
there's never enough money, Chris. Never enough money.
Almost offensive coordinator job that I think he would have jumped on almost came open this year, and that's the Indianapolis Colts, because Philadelphia was trying to get the Colts offensive coach coordinator to come there, and if he would have left, I think Phillip Rivers would have been a perfect coach.
That's probably where he would have ended up if Cooter would have left.
Yep. Oh, Cooter didn't go to Philadelphia.
Hey, there's nothing better
than
a guy's last name is Cooter, because Cooter, we all know what Cooter is. Don't act like you don't know.
Guys.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, guys.
Back on point.
Okay, guys, let's move on. Real quick, let's talk a little bit about the Minnesota Vikings. They fired their general manager today, kind of out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything about being issues in Minnesota with the general manager. I'm not even going to try the first name. Adolfo Menza is his last name. That's what I'm going to go with. His first name is spelled Kyest. I don't know what the hell that is, so now you're going to attempt it. So, Chris, your thoughts? Had you heard anything? Was you surprised by this move by the Vikings?
I mean, I hadn't heard anything, so I was a little surprised. But I think this is the Vikings. What this tells me is that the general manager made the decision on who was going to be the quarterback last season, on moving on from Sam Darnold, or not bringing in Aaron Rodgers when they had the chance. I think this right here is either them saying that it was the general manager that made that decision to start the put all the cards in on McCarthy, or they're using him, or of course they're using him as a
Scapegoat.
scapegoat. One of the two. But I think this is him to me, because there wasn't nobody that was really hollering for somebody to be fired because of it. So to me, there ain't no reason to use somebody as a scapegoat. So to me, this tells me that the ownership felt like that GM is the one that made that decision, and then they didn't like how everything unfolded, so they're moving it in a different direction. Because if you were going to use him as to me, if they're going to use him as a scapegoat, it had been because there was a bunch of pressure to fire somebody because of because of the way things went. But you really didn't have the media yelling for the coach or the GM to be fired or anything. So this came out, like you said, came out of nowhere. So that kind of tells me that he was the one making the decisions, and the ownership decided that they were ready to move on a different direction after they saw what happened with the quarterback that you had in your building is in the Super Bowl.
Yep. And
your quarterback last year that won you 14 games
games.
is in the Super Bowl with another team and he would have stayed there if you would have paid him. Like it wasn't like he wanted to leave. So
I think he was willing to take. I think he was willing to take a little bit less to even stay there. I'm not saying a lot less, but he would have took a little less.
Yeah, he wanted to stay in Minnesota.
We called it. We thought it was a mistake, and in the long run, maybe it won't end out a mistake. But for this year, it was definitely a big mistake. Jay, what do you think?
What I think, I'm gonna tell you what I think. What I think is exactly what y'all been saying. That the GM is running the show, and that the ownership hasn't had as much hands-on involvement in things. Not that they really should. I mean, that's why you hire a GM. You hire a GM to run the team. You hire the coach to coach the team. That's the way it's supposed to run. And that's the way Robert Kraft hires a coach. He takes a stand back approach. The coach, or hires a GM, hires a GM, and then GM hires the coach, and they do what they do. Which is what I wish Jerry Jones would do, by the way. But anyway, let me regress. Look, and I said this in a text message earlier to a couple of people. When Sam Darnold gets to the Super Bowl before your GM can get you to the Super Bowl, there's a problem. There's a problem, Houston. Houston, we got a problem. And that's what happened. He let go of the wrong person. If you're going to let go of anybody, let go of J.J. McCarthy. Get draft picks for him and live to fight another day. And use Donald, use Aaron, Donald, whatever the fuck his name is. I can't get them all right. Damn Donald. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And God's going to crucify me on that, but that's okay. Let that man. No. Look, he was doing great for you. It's not like he was doing bad. His touchdowns to interception ratio was good. He was getting you moving the ball. Keep him. Why are you going to keep JJ? I know you can look at JJ as a project, but let me tell you something. You know what? The San Francisco Giants took a flyer on a number 3 draft pick, and where did that get him? Oh, we got him traded to Dallas. And where did Dallas do? Nothing. They released him. And where's he at now? Probably sacking groceries or doing whatever he's doing on the side. The point of my point is, if you got a guy that's producing, if you got a guy that's moving the ball and moving the chains, don't let that guy go. Ride and die with him. Don't put your on a maybe or a possible or a could be. No, put your eggs in your basket with the guy that's moving the chains, and they didn't do that. And that's not on the coach. That's on the GM. And so he now gave that quarterback, and who he had his golden ticket. If you're Willy Wonka and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he gave his golden ticket to Seattle. And now Seattle is in the Super Bowl, and his ass is on the couch watching a guy that he gave away for nothing. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, you're not talking about a quarterback who was 9-7. You're talking about a quarterback who won 14 games. And
you hear what I'm saying?
Walk
Good
out the
job.
door. Yeah.
Good job. I applaud you. That's why your ass is fired.
Okay.
And I'd like to see who hires you after that.
Okay, guys, we're gonna be talking about some events that's happening this Saturday. We got 3 events that we're going to talk about here. The first one, real quick, we're going to go over the Royal Rumble. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow on your ESPN app, whatever you got to have to get that.
Wait, at 1?
Yes.
I thought it was at 2.
I keep seeing one.
See, last night I saw two because I thought it was in the evening time, and then on the corner on ESPN it said 2 p.m. It said 2 o'clock. I said, oh, it's during the afternoon.
Yeah, it's afternoon. I'll have to double check out. You could be right, Chris.
Maybe 1 o'clock is the pre-show, and 2 o'clock is the.
Could be. So check
I'll
your
look it up
times,
real
guys,
quick.
on that. Okay,
Yeah,
check
I'll look
that
it up
out.
real quick and see, but I thought it said 2.
You could be right. That today the SmackDown's going on right now on Netflix overseas, but it started at noon today. But I couldn't get it on my app, though. Usually I can, but I couldn't get it, so I just have to watch the replay tonight on USA. But anyway, let's go over that real quick. Got 2 matches, and then you got the Royal Rumbles yourself, the men and women's. Yeah, Chris, what'd you find out?
It should. I would say one's probably the pre-show because here it says fights begin at 2 p.m.
Okay.
So I'd say 1 o'clock is probably the pre-show thing, and then 2 is when it's supposed to start.
Okay.
I thought it didn't start till like 6:37 in the evening.
No.
And then last night
it.
I just saw in the corner it said 2 o'clock. I was like, oh, okay. I'm glad I saw that because I'm gonna try to watch. I'd have missed it. I was assuming it was in the evening.
Okay, we'll talk about the 2 matches first. Give our predictions real quick. We got Sammy versus Drew for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's very popular in Saudi Arabia. He's very well loved there. He's the ultimate underdog, but he goes up against Drew McIntyre, who just won the championship. I can't see Drew losing this championship already, so I'm going with Drew McIntyre. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Drew as well. I don't see him losing the title this quick either.
What about you, Mr. J?
Yeah, the fact that Sami Zayn is popular in Saudi Arabia, and the fact that they went to Saudi Arabia, look, like let's not play around. WWE is in Saudi Arabia for one reason and one reason only, and it ain't because they want to attack their fan base. It's because they want the money that the princes are going to give them to be there. And I think the princes want to see a certain outcome. And I don't think the princes want Drew McIntyre to take that match. I think they want Sami Zayn to take it because I think they want an underdog. I don't think they want to see what everybody thinks is going to happen. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn only because I think the princes of Saudi Arabia want to see something happen that's not going to be the stereotypical thing. And because I think WWE wants that Saudi Arabia money. I think they're going to go that direction in their writing. Okay. And I think Sami Zayn upsets it.
Okay. That's possible, man. You never know with the WWE. Next up, got a big match. This has been the biggest story coming into the Rumble, even more than the Rumble matches, which are kind of unusual. It's Gunther versus AJ Styles. It's if AJ loses, he retires from the WWE. So it's a big match. I know it's been announced he was going to retire in 2026. I wasn't expecting AJ to retire this early in 2026, but it definitely looks that way. They're doing a lot of things to make you think it's going to happen. Of course, that could be a swerve. And like I said, originally what I thought would happen, they had a match a few weeks ago where AJ made Gunther tap out, but the referee was on the other side. He tapped AJ, giving up, so AJ released the move. The referee didn't see it. Then Gunther hit him from behind and pinned him. So even though he really did tap out, the referee didn't see it, so it wasn't official. So I'm wondering, and this is what I predicted a couple of weeks ago. I predict AJ Styles is going to pull the same thing on him and win this match. They go 1-1, and then they will meet again at WrestleMania, have another retirement match with both of them putting their careers on the line, and AJ losing. That was my prediction 2 weeks ago. But everything I keep seeing keeps making me think that AJ is going to retire now. He's going to be done. He's going to lose. For me, I mean, I would prefer him nothing against Saudi. I would say the same thing if it was in Australia or England. I would rather see him retire in the United States because that's where most of his career has been, even though he did wrestle a lot in Japan. That's just me personally. That's just, but, it's his decision. So I don't know where they're going. Just the way things have went lately, I'm going to say Gunther wins and AJ loses. So AJ retires. Jay, what do you think?
Okay, so for those of us who maybe don't watch as much wrestling as you guys do, can you remind me one more time? The match with Gunther, that's a title match, correct?
No belts on the line.
Okay, if no belts are
His
on
career.
the line, yeah, and I feel like if there's no belts on the line, and this is AJ Styles' 2026 retirement tour, I'm going to say I'm going to go with AJ Styles on this. I think he pulls off the win. But if it was a championship, that might be different. But I'm going to say that he gets the win. But the win over Gunther, which you all know, Gunther at one point did hold a title. I think that would be a good. He said before he retired that he wanted to face all the big time wrestlers before he said it out. I'm not saying he's going to win all those matches, but I think he does get the one over Gunther. So I'm going to say that one.
Okay, Chris, what do you think?
At first, I kind of felt like you that Styles was going to win, but the more I've watched, they have me convinced that Gunther's going to win this match. So I'm going with Gunther.
I want just to be clear, I want AJ to win, but I just got a feeling that he's done and he's ready to go. So,
and I think, and Tony, based on what you said earlier, and I didn't see the match, but if the fact that he hit the tap and they didn't see it, and then Gunther winds up getting the overall win, you probably are. If anybody's putting money on this, you might want to put money on Gunther because you're probably right. That fits the storyline, right? Because otherwise, we may have had AJ Styles take the win there and not wait until here. So that might be. I see what you're saying with that.
If Styles does win, the only way he's going to win is going to be some way like what you said, because
they want to keep Gunther strong
because
too.
they have Gunther as the career killer and everything right now.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they can't make Gunther look weak coming out. If they're not going to have him win this match, they can't let him look weak coming out of it. So it would have to be like a scenario you said, or somebody coming out and interfering in the match or something like that. It would be, because it's not going to be a clean win for AJ Styles over Gunther, because that would ruin all the momentum that they've worked to build up with Gunther.
Yeah,
that's another reason why I think Gunther's going to win this, going to win as well, because of that. But yeah, I thought somehow they would do like what you said. Styles would survive, and then they would do it later in the year.
Yeah,
but more and more in the way they've been telling the story, it just they got me convinced, and then they might throw a curveball and go different, but they have me convinced right now it's going to be.
Do you think it might be along the lines of Monday Night Raw, where Styles and CM Punk basically were fighting for the title, but it wound up being a no decision? Do you think it might be something like that?
I don't think it'll be a no decision because it's a retirement match. So I think there's going to be a decision. But right. I think if AJ wins, it's going to have to be something like I said, where he pulled the same thing that Gunther did to him, or something happens where it's not a completely clean victory.
Okay,
that's what I think. Guys, let's go with the women's Royal Rumble. Chris, who you like? And I'll give you two guesses since there's 30 people.
Rhea Ripley, and of course I forget the other woman I picked last night. Stratton.
Okay, Tiffany
not Stratton. Green. It was Green, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green. Okay.
It was Chelsea Green and Rhea Ripley.
I'm going with Bianca Belair. I think she comes back. I think they're going to want her to win and go up against Jade Cargill. I think that would be a big feud for WrestleMania. I think that's something they've been planning for a while. So I think that's where they're going. And then yesterday I had Jordan Grace. I just don't think they're going to give it to her yet. One that I kind of forgot about that other people said last night, and I've kind of changed my mind. I think Liv Morgan. She's not done a lot since she's come back from injury. So I think Liv Morgan could be the other one. What about you, Jay? I know you don't watch a lot of it. Do you have any?
Yeah, I got a question actually. So my question is because obviously you two guys watch the hell out of this. I mean, you got a whole damn show dedicated to wrestling. So what I would like for Gonzo to tell me is, why do you think that Bianca Belair would not be there, or actually vice versa? Why do you think that Rhea Ripley would be there and not Bianca Belair, given what Tony said about her? Now, I do know who Bianca Belair is. So why is that she's coming back, and she was a champion at one point. Why do you think that that Rhea Ripley would have it over, let's say, Bianca Belair or Liv even.
Because in my opinion, Rhea is still the best woman they have. Maybe she might be the best superstar they have on the roster. And she's still one that she's still one of the top competitors. So I mean, she draws a lot of money. So that's why and selfishly, Rhea is one of my favorites too. So that's another reason as well. I've been a big Rhea fan. She's still one of the top players as well. And so I think her name is always going to be up there, especially when it comes to a Rumble style match.
Can I give a follow-up question to that? Can I just give a follow-up real quick?
Yeah.
Chris, do you do your decision making because you know that Rhea Ripley is a badass and she's got a hot body and her butt is amazing, or is that just you thinking her wrestling skills are awesome? Because she is hot. Let's be honest. Rhea Ripley is hot.
It all goes into it.
Okay.
It all goes into it.
Okay, just check.
She's hot. She's bad as hell.
Hey, she is.
I ain't gonna lie.
One more question. One more. I swear to God, this is the last
She's
one.
also really good in the ring.
Chris, question: would you let Rhea Ripley? Somebody getting arrested. Somebody going to the popo. But that's not here. That's not now. Would you let Rhea Ripley pin you? Would that be your dream? Is that Rhea Ripley would pin you?
I don't know if it'd be my dream, but I'd let her pin me. I don't know if it'd be
one thing about this year's Royal Rumble for the men's and the women's that I like, there's so many different directions they can go storyline wise. Like you could have Rhea, I agree. Rhea is one of the top stars in all of wrestling. Top three. I'm talking men and women. She's definitely one of the best. She's just huge everywhere she goes. But there's storyline there because you could have her win it. You could have Io Sky win it because them two are best friends, but they've wrestled each other 6 or 7 times. And that's one person Rhea's never been able to beat is Io Sky. So she's lost every time she's wrestled Io Sky. So there's a story there. There's stories in the men's. You could bring Roman Reigns back, and Roman is going to be in it. And Roman could win. There's so many different people that can win, and there's so many different storylines that they could go into that really makes this interesting this year for me. Even though there's not been a lot of hype, and again, people's been arguing, well, there's not a lot of hype. Well, the reason there's not a lot of hype, I think it's on purpose, is because it's insulting. And I don't think WWE want to throw it in everybody's faces because the people's already upset that it's insulting. So they're going to go make their money, going to put on a good show and move on from there. So that's one reason you haven't seen as much buzz and hype. I think that's been on purpose.
Yeah.
I think
real quick, Tony.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Joe says he loves watching women wrestling. And I was just going to say, Tony, one thing I've never seen on WWE in any classification, and I think Joe in Italy, because he's a romantic lover, because we all know those people in Italy are romantic lovers, we would like to see a women's oiled up match. Can we get an oiled up match? That would be awesome.
Hey, they had those back in Attitude Era.
They had those back in the day. They had those back in the day.
And well, maybe we didn't bring back in the day to the future.
Hey, oil, mud fighting, slop in the slop. They had all kinds of shit.
Hey, now listen, I will tell you right now, if they brought that back where they had women in slop, or if they had women roiled up, I would be a diehard watcher, and I would tell my wife to give me a loan for 20 minutes to an hour. I would do that. I would absolutely be a fan. I'm just saying.
Was it Edge and Lita that had sex in the ring?
Yeah, had sex.
I remember that. Yes, I remember that. They showed that. Yes. That was awesome. By the way, that was awesome.
Jay, do you have a pick for the women's?
For the women's, I'm kind of leaning towards the side of Gonzo there. I think Rhea Ripley, because of her magnitude and what she's done in the wrestling community so far, when she was with Edge and Finn Balor and help me out, Dominic Mysterio. Yeah. Yep. I kind of think they're still playing off of that highlight, and I think she's going to take it. So I'm going to go Rhea Ripley just based on what she's achieved so far in wrestling. And I think wrestling is kind of trending towards her and away from her.
Okay.
They're not. So I'm going to go Rhea Ripley. I think that's just where they're trending.
This dude,
guys,
this dude grilled me like I should have took Bianca Belair instead of Rhea Ripley. That he chooses Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
I did not grill you, sir. I did not grill you. I just asked you about Rhea Ripley. Let's keep it straight. By the way, though, hold on. By the way, just so we do know, I agree with Joe right here. I don't care which wrestler you pick. If you want to strangle me to death, please, because when I meet my Lord Jesus Christ in heaven, that's the way I want to go out. Just saying.
Well, it depends. I don't want to choke me with her hands, and now if she go choke me with her legs or some other parts, but if she go choke me with her hands, no.
No, Tony, I think it's just implied that it would be with her legs. I'm just saying.
Joe,
Tony, I don't know what goes on in your life, but I think most of us are implying that.
With Joe, you never know.
Well, that's true. Joe said mud wrestling and bikinis.
You don't know. Joe might like to get choked. He might like
don't we all? Honestly, no. Ask you that, Tony. Hold on, Tony. Back in your younger days, back when you were Gonzo's age, hold on. I'm just saying, don't ask me that, Tony, because I think you do like to be choked.
No.
I don't need to. Hey, I don't need to know that information. So let's just move on.
Hey, Chris, that might have been how you were conceptualized. I'm just saying.
Joe might like a little of that choke and jerk action. Who knows?
When in Italy, right? When in Italy, do you do like Italy?
True.
Okay,
that's true. Hell, they got sheep and cows. We don't know what the hell.
No. Now you're talking Middle East. Now you're going. You went from Italy to the Middle East.
Hey, get out of them farms in Italy. I don't know where Joe lives. Okay,
we don't know where Joe lives.
Let's go to the men's rumble,
please.
I've got Braun Breaker or LA Knight. Chris, what about you?
I'm gonna go with the same ones I went with last night: Logan Paul and Brock Lesnar.
Okay. What about you, Mr. J?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I just saw recently that they just added Lesnar to the card. So I was surprised to see that. So I'm curious to see why he just got added. Show. What's that?
Lesnar announced that he was going to be in the Rumble on McAfee show.
Right. So I'm wondering, was that his decision, or did they ask him to come be in it? Do you know what?
No, that was their decision. He had to agree. But yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of wondering why did they put it? Why was that? Was it their decision to bring him in because they wanted him maybe to do something? I don't know. I mean, like Brock Lesnar, he's kind of the guy that just doesn't. He's not always there. He just kind of does special appearances. So I don't know if Brock Lesnar would necessarily get it, but I think he just does special. Yeah.
Big name and a big payday.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Brownson? I appreciate you being here, man. Even though it did come via Gonzo, you know what? I'll take sloppy seconds. We don't care here. We just love people. I'm gonna go. Who am I gonna go with? Let me ask you this: Is Cody in this fight, or is he not in the fight?
He is in, and if he wins, he would be the second 3-time winner. The only other 3-time winner is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right. And I think since Cody took the belt over, I live in Sicily, right on the tip of the boot. So basically you were getting the, you know what, up the butt. No problem. We got you. Hey, he said it. I just carried it on a little further. By the way, we love you, Joe. Keep drinking that vino. We know you're drinking the vino. Even though you say you don't, we know you drink the vino. I think Cody might, since he took the belt from Roman Reigns, and since it's been that long since they've had a 3-time repeat, you know what? I'm going to carry on. You know why? Because it's in Saudi freaking Arabia, and they want money. So why not do that? Why not do something that they haven't done in a really long time? I'm going with Cody in this one.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes, baby. Give me Cody Rhodes.
Hey, did you see Roman Reigns on the McAfee show today?
I didn't see it, but I heard about
it. It was good.
I didn't see it at all. I apologize.
I have to go check it out.
Well, hey, can you elaborate just a little bit on that, if you don't mind, Gonzo?
What do you mean elaborate?
No, I didn't know. I didn't see it either. I'm just saying, like, what did he say on
I mean,
McAfee?
he talked about the Rumble, but then he talked about some of the younger talent, how they're working their way up and stuff. But he talked about how he was going to wreck everything and leave. They're going to have the jet warmed up, so as soon as he wins the Rumble, he can get the hell out of Saudi Arabia and head back home. Yeah. And but yeah, just a typical promo part. But then he talked a lot about like Breaker. He talked some about Bronson Reed, Logan. Talked a lot about Logan Paul and some of the other wrestlers as well about how he's been seeing the work they've been putting in and stuff.
And that was on today's Pat McAfee. If you don't mind me asking, that was on today. I'm gonna have to go watch that. One more thing: was he in character, or was it just him actually talking as him?
Both, kind of both.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go watch
it. There was parts of it where he was doing his promo, and it was more of in character, and then there was some parts of it that was more shoot.
I guarantee you he's high on Bronson Reed. I know he's high on Breaker too, but the reason I say Reed is because Reed has beat him, and one of the only guys, only like one of 2 or 3 guys that have beat him over the last 4 or 5 years. They got a pinfall over him and a clean pin. So I know he's big on Bronson Reed and Breaker. Guys, let's move on to some boxing. And then we've got Chris we're going to talk some UFC also, 325. That's tomorrow. But let's talk about the big fight that's coming up Saturday. I think the card starts at 6 p.m. on days. Am I saying this right, Chris? DAZN?
DAZN.
DAZN. Okay, DAZN. Why don't they spell it like DAZN? D-A-Z-N don't spell fucking DAZN.
I don't know. That's how it's been.
I'm half Mexican and half white, and both parts are stupid. So I don't know what the hell they're spelling.
There was one.
Whoa. Real quick, since you brought that up, can I just ask you what part of you is white and what part of you is Mexican?
Well, I better not say that. I'm sorry to say something. I'm avoiding that question.
Did I put you in an awkward position?
I was getting ready to. No.
Tony, can I tell you why? Can I tell you why, Tony? Because this episode of Afternoon Show has been extra spicy, and when I poop this out later, it's going to be amazing. Continue, please.
Okay, we got a big. Well, the fights will start at 6, but the big fight won't. They said probably walk time will be around 11 p.m. for them guys, and that's Teofimo Lopez, who's 21-1. Against Shakir Stevenson, who's 24-0. I believe Lopez is 27, Stevenson's 28. It's for the WBO Super Lightweight Championship. Both these guys have held many different belts. I think Stevenson's going for his 4th belt, 4th championship at a different weight. He's moving up to 140 pounds. I think it's going to be a great fight. I do believe Stevenson's the favorite in this. Yeah, he's moving up to be a 4-division champion. Stevenson is. I think it's going to be a great fight. It's in Madison Square Garden. I would definitely check it out if you have the opportunity to. I'm a big Stevenson fan. I think Lopez brings the offense. Stevenson brings the defense. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Chris, you got to take on this.
Yes, but real quick. Mr. Brownstone, on this show here, we talk mostly sports, but we do talk a little bit of wrestling. But we do on the Gonzo Sports Room channel, me and Dad and some other guys, we do 2 wrestling shows. One is a show that's independent wrestling, talking about a lot of just basically all about indie wrestling. A lot of that is Indiana based, but we do talk Illinois. We've had guys on from Texas, So it's been all over the place on that. But then we also do a show on Thursday nights where we talk pro wrestling, and we talk older stuff as well. We do a segment on there where we watch an old school match every week, and we recap it. We react to it. Plus we talk a lot about the Attitude Era, WCW, and stuff like that on that show on Thursday nights at 8 Eastern. You can find that on the Gonzo Sports Room. All of our pages.
Yeah, like for example, this past Monday we had a great guest, Michael Elgin, who was a great wrestler in the 2000s and middle 2000s, Ring of Honor champion, wrestled New Japan, Mexico, just a great superstar. He was on the show with us, and I've been doing a lot of views on that. And then just
He
like
was
Chris
one
was
of
talking
what?
about the
That he was one of what? One of four guys in Mexico to win the Grand Prix to be a
Yes.
foreigner.
Yes.
When he like
Yep.
one of four, one of five.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
won it a couple times, didn't he?
Yes. Yep.
Can I say one thing real quick? Mr. Brownstone, just so you're tracking, I know you say, you're looking for different things. Just so you're tracking, in the description of this show is our link tree, and our link tree will take you to wherever it is you want to go in terms of sports. If you want to do wrestling, it'll take you straight to Gonzo's Sports Room. If you want to do basketball, it'll take you to Tuesday night hoops. If you want football, it'll take you to Thursday night blitz. And if you want just our general basically everything that we talk about, like we are today, then you'll get the afternoon show. And if you want Geek Gauntlet, if you're like a comic or anime person, we have the Geek Gauntlet on there as well. If you're a hockey person, we also have hockey. So that link tree will take you to whatever it is you want to watch and to everybody's stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, real quick on that Thursday night, we talked about some.
I don't know if
old
the link tree will
matches.
take him to the link tree won't take him to all of our stuff.
It won't? I would imagine it would, because your stuff's put on our stuff.
Not
But yeah.
We have not all of our wrestling shows are
okay. I apologize. If I misspoke, I apologize.
Well, what I'm saying is because we were doing we done a lot of live shows before we was with the ESPN.
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize. I misspoke.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I was just letting them know to make sure he checked out both, because there's some stuff on our page that isn't on the ESPN page yet, because it's older stuff.
Yeah, if he checks out Gonzo's YouTube page, we've got old wrestling shows, because we commentate shows, and you talked about some of the wrestlers. Chris, help me.
Oh yeah, we have shows on there with Kurt Angle's that show we was at. Mick Foley, he's actually in our intro video. But like wrestling wise, Chavo Guerrero, Mr. Kennedy, who goes by Mr. Anderson now, Michael Elgin. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Gangrel, The Godfather. Damn, I know there's some other ones I'm forgetting.
Kishi,
Carlito.
Yeah, Carlito,
Primo and Epico. There's a lot of matches on our Gonzo Sports Room YouTube page.
So I guess the bottom line is
Ace Austin that just signed. What's the one guy? We loved him. Luke Gallows.
Yeah, Luke Gallows. Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep.
There's a bunch of them on there.
And Mr. Brownstone, you can find all that stuff at Gonzo Sports Room. On their YouTube page, Gonzo Sports Room on their YouTube. I promise you, if you want to find out anything about wrestling, I encourage you to go to Gonzo Sports Room, because these guys, man, they bring the heat. Gonzo, Tony, you guys bring the heat. Marcus Fine, Glenn, man, y'all bring the heat. So if you want to find out anything about wrestling, I promise you, you will not find two better people than these two right here at Gonzo Sports Room on YouTube. And make sure you give them a subscribe, because you give them a subscribe, you will not miss out on any of that content.
That's true.
All right, where we at, Tony?
Let's go back to the boxing. Chris, your thoughts on this big fight coming up Saturday?
Yeah, Stevenson's a pretty big favorite in this fight. He's a minus 290 favorite.
I know.
Lopez is plus 240 for a guy who only been beat once. I think it's going to be a good fight, but the only thing that worries me about a little bit on Stevenson is moving up weight again. But we've seen him do it before and handle it all right. So I ain't real worried about it, but that is a little bit of a worry. And but yeah, I think Stevenson's going to win the fight. I think it'll be a good fight. But yeah, it's hard for me to go against Stevenson. I've watched him fight a bunch of times, and the dude's just so balanced and solid. But Lopez is good as hell too. So I think it's going to be a real good fight. But I'm going to go with Stevenson.
What you got to watch out for Lopez is, I've done some studying on this. He likes to rack up the early rounds, and then get control of the fight, and then basically keep you from hitting him. In the later rounds, he likes to kind of milk it. I don't know if milking is the right word, but he's a pretty good defender too, and he's got quick hands. I worry a little bit about Stevenson moving up, and Stevenson's I know he's got the defense. I worry about the offense a little bit, but I'm a big Shakur Stevenson fan. They have been ever since I watched him in the Olympics. So I'm going to go with Stevenson also. Jay, do you got any thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, before I do, I just want to address a couple of things. So Mr. Brownstone is in Ohio. I don't know what part of Ohio you're in, but if you're not too far from Indiana, you can go check out Gonzo and them at WCWO events. And if you go to Gonzo's Sports Room, you'll probably find out where exactly they'll be doing WCWO events. But I think you'll find their stuff really freaking awesome. So check that out. You're in Ohio? Hell, I'd go to Indiana for that. Real quick,
we did a show. We did a show in Cincinnati a year or two ago.
And I just want to say, Joe, man, hey, I understand, man. I know those night shows are hard for you. So what I suggest is, I know you're retired because you're an older gentleman, which, by the way, I'm an older gentleman and I'm retired. And so what I suggest you do in the term is sleep during that time and then catch our night shows. I'm just saying you can do that. No problem. And then Mr. Brownstone says, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Jay, you got any thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, man. So Stevenson versus Lopez. Well, Lopez is the reigning champion. So I think if he wants to solidify his reputation at that level, this would be the fight to do it, Tony, because like you said earlier, these are the up and coming, or he's literally achieved the championship at all these different levels. So when he gets to that level, if he wants to solidify that reputation, get the win over Stevenson. That will give you that reputational win. But again, if you're Stevenson, if you're trying to establish yourself as a legacy, kind of like Conor McGregor did at UFC, where he won multiple divisions and things like that, then this would be the time where you can make your legacy of literally getting the win over Lopez. And this one, I'm actually going to go with Stevenson. I think Stevenson is going to get it tonight or get it that night over Lopez.
Tomorrow.
So I'm rolling with Stevenson.
Okay, we all got Stevenson. Okay, now we're going to our last name for today, UFC 325. Chris, I'm gonna let you take it from here if you're good to go. Maybe not.
No, I'm here. I'm getting some.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were on the toilet. Never mind.
No.
Let's go.
I might have been. You never know.
Hey, you never know. I hope you use toilet paper, but let's go.
All right. No, this is a pretty good UFC card. The main event should be a good fight. It's actually a rematch. I'm gonna get down here to the odds. You got Alexander Volkanovski against Diego Lopez. It's a rematch. Volkanovski won the first fight by unanimous decision. Two judges had him winning by 1 round. The other judge had it, I think, him winning by 2 rounds, if I remember correctly. Volkanovski controlled most of that fight, but Lopez did knock him down. If I remember correctly, I think it was in the second round. Landon had Volkanovski in a little bit of trouble, but Volkanovski was able to recover. I think this is going to be a real good fight. You have Volkanovski as a slight favorite at -148. Lopez is plus 120 underdog. So I mean, it's pretty close to a pick 'em. It's not a real big spread, but I like Volkanovski. I think his pace is just too much. I think Lopez is on. I think the way Lopez is going to beat him is if he is like he did that first fight where he had a little bit of a chance in that second round where he was able to hurt him and knock him down. I think Lopez is going to have to be able to hurt him and try to slow him down. But Volkanovski just keeps coming at you. Dude's a beast. So I'm going to go with Volkanovski at the -146 on the money line to win that fight. Co-main event is another good fight. You got Dan Hooker and Benoit St. Denis. St. Denis is a big favorite in this fight at -320. Hooker plus 245. I think this would be a good fight, but I favor St. Denis to get the win here. I think St. Winnis. I'm adding the damn Winnis to his name instead of Dennis. I think St. Denis is a. CJ,
I heard that, Chris. Don't think I didn't hear that, Chris. I got you.
I don't just call you out. I call myself out too.
Yeah, I just want you to know that you messed up too. That's okay. I just want look. There's not a whole lot of times in my life. No, Chris, please, just 1 second, please. If you don't mind, please, just one. There's not a whole lot of times in my life that I get the opportunity to be on the winning edge of this, and this might be one of those times. So I'm going to maximize the hell out of this shit. Get the damn names right, Joe Biden. Let's go. All right, back to I'm going to take advantage of that shit.
But no,
the shit.
I think St. Dennis just has more ways that he can win this fight than what Hooker does. I think Hooker is going to be more having to hurt him. Where I think St. Dennis can win it more on his feet, on the ground, just different options. So I like St. Dennis in that fight. And then you have Rafael Fiziev against Marcio Ruffy.
Yep.
Ruffy is a slight favorite, but I like the underdog Fiziev in this fight. It's almost a pick. It's plus 104 and minus 128. Should be a good one, but it's a pretty good card. I'm kind of surprised that they're having they're not really pay-per-views anymore. If you have now it's just you have to have Paramount Plus, but it's the two numbered shows, which has always been the pay-per-views. Like I think it's 325.
Yep, 325.
And last week you had 324, so it's not very often you get two like pay-per-view level shows back to back weeks, and it's kind of strange because usually. I don't think they've done it the last couple of years, but they used to always have UFC the Saturday night before the Super Bowl. There used to always be a UFC every year, like the Saturday night before Super Bowl, they'd have a real big like pay-per-view card. But like the last few years, it's been like the week before the Super Bowl, which I don't think's a bad move because I mean Super Bowl weekend, you got a lot of stuff going on, so. This weekend there ain't hardly we got the Royal Rumble, but they're ran by the same company, and the Royal Rumble will be over. The Royal Rumble's in a different country, and it'll be over before that UFC comes on. So I think that was a smart decision as well. It should be a pretty decent card, but I like Volkanovski. I just think Volkanovski's going to be a little too much in the main event.
And the prelims, I think, are at 7. I think early prelims are at 5. Then the prelims are at 7. And the main card is at 9.
Now.
Yeah, I want to make sure everybody knows that because it used to be always 10 p.m. And they've moved it up an hour since they went to Paramount Plus. So, so people don't get caught.
And that was nice last week. I'll admit, if you're in the Eastern time zone, that was nice last week. Main event starting a little bit before midnight instead of a little bit before 1. It was a lot nicer. It was nice. I enjoyed that. It did enjoy that. You really wouldn't think one hour would make that big a difference, but it did.
Yeah, it does. Guys, before we get out of here, I did want to bring up one thing, just mention it, something we can talk about later, especially with Big Glenn, because he's a race car guy. But I seen that Trump made an announcement that they're going to have in the city of Washington, D.C., any Indianapolis style IndyCar 500 race. I believe on the streets of Washington, D.C. in July.
You got to be kidding me.
No, that was announced today.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know a lot of details.
Make sure I understand what you're saying. Are you saying that they're going to do like a style of racing where they race through the city of D.C. or do they have an actual track?
No, they'll do it on the street.
They'll race on the
Grand
street.
Prix style. On the streets. They'll block off the streets.
Yeah.
They just did that in Chicago.
Yeah, F1 and some of them have done it in Chicago.
Yeah, they
I think they've done it in Vegas.
IndyCar in Chicago last year.
I think they've done one in Vegas where they was in the streets. And Chicago last year, and they've done it somewhere else too. Didn't they do it in New York one year?
May have been.
Hey, the only reason I say that
New York one year.
The reason why I give you that crazy look is I lived in Washington, D.C. for 2 years. And I know Washington, D.C. like the back of my hand. And I know all those streets like the back of my hand. And if they're planning on doing it in D.C., there are some very, very tight turns all throughout that 36 square miles that D.C. encompasses. And so the fact that they're going to do that in D.C. with those tight turns, I would love to see that. I'm definitely going to tune into that because that's going to be a hell of a feat to go through D.C. and those tight turns. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, we'll get more into that. We'll have Big Glenn on with us sometime, and we'll talk about that when it gets closer, or we'll get more information. And just real quick, since we have the new guy on here, just let everybody know when our shows are. We do afternoon shows every Monday and Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. on Tuesday nights, we have Tuesday night hoops at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. On Wednesday night, we have hot seat questions with OG Tony. That's me and the gang. And we do different questions. We'll talk about anything. We may talk rock. We may talk sports. We may talk food. Who the hell knows what we're going to talk about? But it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm really enjoying doing that. I think we're doing good with that. And then on Thursday nights, right now we have an NFL show. It's Thursday Night Blitz. That will be changing over at some point to a baseball show once the NFL is over and we get closer to baseball. But right now it's the Thursday Night Blitz NFL show. College and NFL football show. And that's at 10 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Central. And then, of course, Friday, we got the afternoon show. And then also you can catch us on ESN or on Gonzo Sports Room on all these shows that I mentioned here. But on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. we have GWR. That's an independent wrestling show. We talk all about independent wrestling. We have pro wrestlers on every week as guest hosts, ask questions, just have fun. We also have rapid fire shows where we ask questions with the pro wrestlers or promoters. This week, I think we have a guy who's actually an announcer. He does play-by-play. So we're going to have him on. So it was one of our guests. And then on Thursdays, that's where we talk about the pro wrestling. We talk, we just change formats a little bit. Every week, we'll talk about any pay-per-views or any of that stuff. And then we also talk about Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. We talk about TNA. We talk about AEW. We talk NXT. So we talk about all pro wrestling, anything going on with that. And I thought the show went real well last night with the new format. So check out all the shows on ESPN and also on Gonzo's Sports Room. We appreciate everybody watching. Jay, you got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just a couple of things. I just wanted to say, man, it's been a hell of a show. It's been spicy. It's been very, very spicy, caliente. And I'm going to go in remission and recover from this show because it's been that spicy. And if you liked our content, like Tony has already told you, if you're really, really into wrestling, I highly encourage you to go to Gonzo's Sports Room on YouTube. I think you're going to love that because they do great work over there with Face the Hill and all the other shows that they put on there. So make sure you check out Gonzo's Sports Room as well for wrestling. And if you forget to go to Gonzo's Sports Room, if you just click on the damn link tree, you can watch anything we put out. You can find it all there. And if you forget if you go to Gonzo's Sports Room through ESPN and you're gonna check on that show and you forgot about it, don't worry about it because they're gonna remind you to go to Gonzo's Sports Room in that show, and then it's gonna follow you back to their main homepage. I highly suggest, no matter where you find them. And then once you find them, you're going to have a hell of a good time because I know I do. I have a good time every time I watch them go. And if you've liked our content, like Tony said, please give us subscribe to Gonzo's Sports Room and also give us subscribe to Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Link trees in the description if you forget. And next time, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Until next time, it's your boy Jay, OG Tony, and Gonzo.